Citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis, good day. This is the post-cabinet briefing for cabinet meeting held Wednesday, March 4th, 2009. Cabinet reviewed the draft Country Poverty Assessment (CPA) report conducted by KAIRI, that's K-A-I-R-I, the same consulting group that performed the study back in 2000. The research for the CPA was conducted in 2007-2008. An overview of the results of the Country Poverty Assessment is as follows. Poverty rates for individuals stood at 23.7% as opposed to 30.5% when a similar exercise was conducted in 2000. It must be remarked, however, that this assessment was done prior to the minimum wage increasing from $250 weekly to $320 weekly, and at a time when the price of fuel and electricity were exorbitantly high. Household poverty rate moved from 16% in 2000 to 14% in 2007-2008. The rate of indigence among individuals moved from 11% in 2000 to 1.4% in 2007-2008. The proportion of persons living in poor quality housing moved from 30.5% in 2000 to 7.5% in 2007-2008. The proportion of the housing assessed to be poor quality was 8.6%. The poverty line for St. Kitts was estimated to be at EC $7,329 per adult per year, or approximately $140 per week per adult. That is the new minimum wage approved by the Labour Administration and implemented in November of 2008 is 229% above the estimated poverty line. It is therefore estimated that with a 28% increase in the minimum wage over the last 4 months and the cost of fuel and electricity having fallen rapidly, the poverty rate, although having moved significantly in the right direction, that is to say, recording a 7% reduction over the last few years, the current poverty rate can be more accurately placed at 15%. The indigence line was estimated to be at $2,595 per adult per annum, or $50 per adult per week. The unemployment rate was assessed to be at the 6.3% level. Government is satisfied with the positive movement of indicators related to the level of indigence and the quality of housing of our people. A 7% reduction in the poverty rate was deemed as only appreciable, and the government has vowed to redouble its efforts to bring the level of poverty in St. Kitts to under 10% in the next 5 years. This Cabinet agreed is highly achievable given the current rate of development in the country and given our renewable energy program that will make St. Kitts almost completely immune to the volatility in the price of oil on the world market. Government will also continue to review and evaluate the income levels of public servants, the pension levels of our pensioners, and the minimum wage earned by our low-income earners. The full Country Poverty Assessment report will in due course be made available in its final draft from the Government of St. Kitts and Nevis as well as from the Caribbean Development Bank through its website. The final draft will be produced by the consultant within the next month or two. In addition, during the course of the next 2 months, community discussions and one national consultation will be held on the island of St. Kitts. The Caribbean Development Bank consultants will be on hand to help in the discussions of the findings and the implications for our developmental strategy. An early childhood development policy was reviewed and approved by the Cabinet at this week's meeting. The new policy was developed following a national consultation in St. Kitts and Nevis and was created to respond to the need to improve the quality of and the level of access to early childhood education in the Federation. As a critical component of the early childhood education policy, targets have been set to provide early education services to all working parents in all communities in St. Kitts. This, the government believes, will help break the cycle of poverty in poor families and poor communities. Under the new early childhood policy, support will be given to private providers of early education so that they can expand their services and improve the quality of such services. Government has set a timeline of 2009-2011 for the implementation of the new early childhood education policy. Winair, an airline providing scheduled airlift services to and from St. Kitts over the last 30 years, has recently written to inform government regarding its recent decision related to servicing the island of St. Kitts. Subsequent discussions with the airline officials have revealed that Winair continues to feel the impact of increased competition, fluctuating fuel prices, and other operational costs. Winair also alluded to a decreasing trend in passenger volume from St. Kitts and has deemed the recent losses unsustainable and has made a decision to discontinue its services to and from St. Kitts by March 29, 2009. Government did request a full analysis from Winair with a view to exploring how it could assist in keeping the services of this airline alive. However, there was no scenario presented by Winair that made an economically acceptable case for the government to pursue. Government wishes Winair well in all of its endeavors as it services other parts of the region. The government has already made official contact with LEAT to ensure that any slack created by the discontinuation of Winair services can be picked up by that airline. Cabinet invited top officials from the police and defense forces to provide an update on the recent double homicide in West Bastille and the progress of an implementation of the anti-gang unit. Members of the security forces outlined their plan of action and government agreed on a course of action to be taken. The essence of such discussions was the content of the Prime Minister's press conference held on the evening of Wednesday, March 4th at 7:15 p.m. This brings to an end the post-cabinet briefing for Wednesday, March 4th, 2009. I thank you.